Now the latest on the school shooting in Parkland. The now fired Broward County deputy, widely criticized for not entering the school during the massacre, insists he is no coward.
According to a statement from Deputy Scott Peterson's attorney, his client did not go into the building to confront the gunman because he believed the gunfire was coming from outside. The statement also says that Peterson and a security specialist ran to the scene at first word of the shooting, a report that mistakenly said firecrackers were being set off.
Today in Washington, President Trump denounced the deputy's inaction, saying he would have stormed into the school to stop the gunman.
I really believe I'd run in there even if I didn't have a weapon. And I think most of the people in this room would have done that too, because I know most of you. But the way they performed was really a disgrace.
Atlantic Beach Police Chief Michelle Cook is also weighing in. She tweeted, quote, "If you're a police officer and you think to yourself for even 1 second that you will not be able to run towards the gunfire, please quit now. We won't be mad. Innocent lives depend on us to act."
News 4 Jax reporter Jim Piggott talked to the chief about her tweet and is looking into those who protect our kids at school. He begins our school safety coverage this evening from Arlington. Jim.
We're at the school board police headquarters right here. There are 81 sworn officers that are in our schools here. They're in 51 schools, in the middle schools and at the high schools. And they would be some of the first people, the first responders if the incident like that happened at our schools, but along with other police agencies as well. And that is why Atlantic Beach Police Chief Michelle Cook was weighing in. When Chief Michelle Cook heard what happened in South Florida, it made her sad. She blames the shooter, but says all officers need to take a hard look at their commitment to their jobs and how would they respond.
I just ask that any officer who hasn't thought about what they would do to take a good hard look. And if they say, yeah, I'm in, then they need to make sure they're training.
Cook says she's not been in an active shooting situation, but says she's had guns pulled on her before. I talked to her about these types of situations, and she says much changed after the Columbine High School murders in 1999. At that time, the practice was for police to arrive at a school, surround, and wait for SWAT. Cook says we just can't do that anymore.
The most recent best practices that are coming out of Alert is that, you know, if you're the officer there and innocent people are dying and your backup is way off, you have an obligation to go in. And you have an obligation to use the best tactics and the best training that you've been keeping up with to make an effort to eliminate the threat.
Cook says they recently had training at schools with 5 different police agencies and believes we're prepared here. She says an officer must keep up with training and must respond immediately.
I think it's a conversation that officers have to have with themselves and say, am I truly committed? If I were put in the same situation, am I committed to taking action?
You know, I did try talking to the police chief here at the school board police, and he didn't feel it would be appropriate at this time. In fact, though, they did say today that this was one of the quietest days that they've had since the school shooting in South Florida. We're live in Arlington. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.